Well, hey, everyone. Thanks for tuning in and watching this. I am really excited to have a conversation today with Barbara Williams from Dickinson First United Methodist. Barbara, I would love if you could just give us a little bit of a background on the church, as well as your role there.
Dickinson First United Methodist Church was founded in Dickinson, Texas, in 1876. Dickinson is just south of Houston and just north of the Gulf of Mexico. We're about 20 miles inland. My role is business administrator and a little bit of facilities coordinator at the same time. I started here in December 2011 and have been here ever since, almost every day.
Well, I know that we've talked previously, and obviously with the history of the church, you all have probably used many tools throughout the years to help facilitate ministry. But previously, what software were you all using?
When I came on board, they had for several years used a combination of a church management software in Servant Keeper and then an accounting software in QuickBooks. And it worked okay for the church when it was very small. We outgrew it early on.
Yeah. And what were some of those challenges then you started to face, in particular, as you were using QuickBooks for accounting?
The main thing was accuracy. There was always an issue in being sure that your postings for the financials went over properly, that proper credit was given in your statements, and that each contributor was giving to the thing that they thought they were giving to. The main thing was just an integration issue. It was very difficult to go back and forth, and the main issue, though, was the integration of each individual with the accounting piece. It never happened.
Yeah. Now, when did you all then kind of start using our platform with financials, people, and the giving modules?
We started looking at pieces at the end of, or the middle, of 2013. And in February of 2014, we made the decision and went with a Ministry Brands product.
Now, what was the experience of onboarding, of getting up to speed, of using the platform?
Awesome. The trainer came and brought us a database system that we transferred our current information after cleaning it up. We transferred it all into a database that was integrated. The trainer stayed with us until we were comfortable. And then we had a couple of other classes, or I guess training sessions with staff members as well, not just the administrative office.
Now, I know that the church has walked through some difficult seasons, and obviously, given the history that you all have, and so I know specifically starting back in 2017, there was some really challenging times. Can you kind of share a little bit about that?
Sure. Like I said, we are 20 miles inland from the Gulf of Mexico. In 2017, Hurricane Harvey hit. We had throughout the church, 1.5 feet of water. In the sanctuary, we had 4 feet. And when we got in and saw that we had no paper documentation left at all, your company took from that information that we had sent in. I'm sorry, I'm going to get a little emotional about it because it was a huge, huge thing that all of that background data that we had worked so hard in 2014 to clean up was there. Getting that back up and running within just a couple of weeks, I know took a big effort on the part of the software end. I heard a couple of stories about people who were on the team that were making that integration take place, and it really saved us in so many ways. We did not have to start over from scratch. We were able to then take all of that information, even some historical data, and a lot of historical data, and and get back up and running very, very quickly.
Yeah, that's awesome. I know
It
that
really was
y'all,
awesome.
yeah, I know that you all also have walked through a challenging time in your senior pastor becoming ill and transition and all of that. And I'm just curious, can you share a little bit in particular on the software end, just how some of the some of the way the software integrated with your ministry kind of helps sustain the church through those seasons?
Sure. Beginning in 2017, like I said, all of our paper directories were gone. We had some information on cell phones, but not a lot. When we were able to get the information back in from sending our initial run in, that information came back to us, and we were able then to call and stay in touch with all of our parishioners wherever they were. Then, beginning in the pandemic, when we were on lockdown, we were able to stay in touch with all of our parishioners. Then our senior pastor did become ill in late 2020. The person who came in for the interim while he was on medical leave was able then to just download the app, get pictures. It has been a lifesaver in a time when we truly were not capable of making these decisions. We were in healing mode for probably 2 years. And one of the things specifically that the software did was allow us to keep up-to-date pictures, contact information for the new staff members that were coming in. Our new senior pastor, he got that information. As soon as we knew who it was coming, we sent it to him so that he could start getting to know people based on the notes that we had in the app. When he came in, then he was able to face-to-face help people who had been hurting for a long time, because he was able to look at their faces and say, I know about you from this. And it has been a lifesaver on the ministry end, even more so than it was on the administrative end, I think.
Yeah, and that's really what we're about, and that's one of the things that really resonated with me with your story is we want to empower healthy churches and empower ministry. And so having those tools and seeing that impact is really special. How else, when you think about just the ministry in general, because I know things are going well, and you're seeing, as you said, coming out of a difficult season, but now seeing some fruit and seeing the ministry grow. So how has the software impacted the ministry in this season?
It has just been the continuity part of it, allowing our ministry staff and our ministry leadership team in the church, laity, to be able to kind of circle the wagons, as it were. We've been able to impact individual lives because they are able to see what has gone on in the past and what they're able to work with in the present and toward the future. And all of the ministry areas are growing. We had our best financial December, January through March that we've had since I've been here. So not only is attendance up, contributions are up, people are excited to come. People are excited to come to worship and to all of the special events that we have.
Yeah. That is awesome. Well, last question. I'd love if you could just share what advice that you would give to someone who might be looking into jumping onto the software, financials, giving, the people database. What advice would you give to them?
My main advice is, if you want to stay in touch with your people, if you want to make sure that contributions are posted to the right person and then on into the accounting part of it, make sure that your staff is paid. If that is important to you, great. But if the ministry part of it is what's important to you, and the face-to-face contact and the knowing the person and the being present with what is going on in this person's life now, I would say that has made the biggest impact. People feel loved and they feel needed. And that is what has done it for us. I can tout all day long the ease and the user friendliness, but the bottom line is that it's about the people, and that is how it has affected us most.
Well, that is fantastic to hear. Again, that's our heart, and we love hearing that. And so just want to say thank you again for taking the time to chat with me today.
Thank you.
Well, I love hearing how software can impact ministry. That's what we're all about. And so if we can help you and your church at all, we would love to connect. Go ahead and reach out or schedule a demo. We would love to have a conversation and see how we can help you and your ministry.